Imagine this, you walk into a room and instantly sense the presence of someone who doesn't need to speak to command respect. They don't crave attention, yet eyes naturally drift toward them. They carry an energy that radiates confidence, calmness, and control, qualities that make them untouchable, even to the most cunning manipulators. Today, we're diving deep into why Sigma males, the lone wolves of society, strike fear into the hearts of narcissists and manipulators. We'll uncover the psychology, the unbreakable confidence, and the raw authenticity that makes Sigma males so uniquely powerful, and yes, absolutely terrifying to those who seek to control others. If you've ever wondered what it takes to be unshakable, or why certain people can't stand it when someone stands their ground, you're about to find out. Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll see why Sigma males are every manipulator's worst nightmare. Number 1, blunt and direct. They expose manipulative behavior publicly. Sigma males don't have time for games. When they spot manipulative behavior, they call it out immediately, and they do it with the kind of bluntness that makes even the boldest narcissist stammer. Sigmas are like the people who skip to the end of the rule book to call out the flaws in the game, except they're playing in real life. They don't tiptoe or sugarcoat. If someone's being shady, a Sigma will point it out with a precision that leaves the manipulator scrambling. This straightforwardness is terrifying to narcissists, who thrive on subtlety, gaslighting, and keeping others guessing. Narcissists expect people to dance around issues, to hesitate and doubt, to second-guess what they've seen or heard. But Sigmas? They see right through the performance and will gladly say, "Oh, that? Yeah, not buying it." It's like trying to fool a human lie detector who's got zero patience for drama. In a world where most people avoid confrontation, Sigmas are refreshing and brutal. They'll call out a fake compliment for what it is, cut down flattery with a single look, or question why someone's story doesn't add up, all without batting an eye. It's not that Sigmas are mean, they just refuse to be anyone's puppet. If someone's behavior doesn't pass the smell test, they'll point it out, and they won't apologize for it either. It's as if they're allergic to BS, and narcissists are like pollen in spring, completely exposed under the Sigma's scrutiny. For narcissists who rely on people's fear of confrontation, this kind of blunt honesty is like kryptonite. Sigma males don't just see through the act, they expose it, leaving narcissists vulnerable, uncomfortable, and powerless. Number 2, they don't share secrets easily. Sigma males have mastered the art of selective sharing. Unlike most people, they don't feel the need to spill their life stories to everyone they meet, and they certainly aren't the type to hand out personal secrets like candy. While others might overshare or feel pressured to reveal too much, Sigmas know exactly when to stay silent. It's like they're running on some ultra-advanced privacy software, one that doesn't crash under social pressure. This drives narcissists up the wall. Narcissists feed on personal information, using it as ammunition to manipulate or guilt-trip people later. But trying to pry secrets out of a Sigma male is like trying to unlock a safe with a piece of spaghetti. Good luck. Sigmas just don't feel the urge to broadcast their inner world, which leaves narcissists frustrated and empty-handed, like a magician whose hat is fresh out of rabbits. Sigmas are intensely private, and they value trust like gold. If someone tries to dig too deep, they'll get nothing but surface-level answers. Ask a Sigma too many personal questions, and they might give you a look that says, "Nice try." But that's classified. They know that the less someone knows about them, the fewer buttons they have to push, and that alone makes them a nightmare for manipulators. By keeping their personal lives locked down, Sigmas become something of an enigma, hard to read and even harder to manipulate. Narcissists who are used to people oversharing can't stand this. It leaves them with no leverage, no weak points to exploit. For a Sigma, every personal detail they withhold is like another layer of armor, keeping them in control and one step ahead of anyone trying to use their own story against them. Number 3, true confidence that outshines ego. Sigma males walk through life with a quiet confidence that's impossible to fake. They don't need to peacock around, flaunting their achievements or seeking approval from every passerby. While some people can't go 5 minutes without finding a mirror to admire themselves, Sigmas genuinely don't care. Their confidence comes from within, rooted in self-respect and experience, not in a craving for likes, applause, or any other form of external validation. This true confidence is like a splash of cold water to narcissists who live for attention and thrive on validation. Narcissists' entire self-worth is built on the shaky foundation of other people's admiration, so when they encounter someone who's completely unfazed by the need to impress, they're bewildered. How is it that this Sigma doesn't need constant reassurance? Doesn't he care what others think? To a narcissist, that's like finding someone who doesn't need air to breathe. It doesn't compute. Sigmas see right through the empty vanity of ego-driven behavior. They don't measure success by followers, fancy titles, or expensive toys. If anything, they're turned off by excessive displays of status. If someone walks in flashing their designer logos or bragging about their latest conquest, a Sigma is more likely to respond with a raised eyebrow than with admiration. And for a narcissist whose whole shtick is to dazzle and charm, that's both baffling and infuriating. By being immune to ego traps, Sigmas have nothing to prove and no need to outshine anyone. This disarming level of self-assuredness means that a Sigma can step into a room and command respect without saying a word. Narcissists can't stand it. They know their entire act crumbles in the face of someone who isn't looking for an audience. Number 4. Immune to emotional blackmail. Guilt-tripping a Sigma male is like trying to sell ice to a polar bear. They're just not buying it. Sigmas are rock solid in their values, boundaries, and choices, so the usual guilt-based tactics don't stand a chance. While many people might squirm under a well-placed guilt trip, a Sigma simply shrugs it off like a raincoat in a drizzle. They know exactly where they stand and they're not about to apologize for it. For a narcissist or manipulator, guilt-tripping is often their go-to move. They count on making others feel bad to gain control or get what they want. But when they try this with a Sigma, it's like watching a bad magic trick that falls flat. Sigmas are immune to the subtle jabs and the "you're letting me down" tones that would normally send others into a guilt spiral. A Sigma can sense when someone's pulling out the guilt card, and instead of reacting, they'll usually just stare, unblinking, until the person realizes the tactic's not working. The secret to a Sigma's immunity to guilt tripping lies in their rock-solid self-awareness. They don't carry around the usual baggage of "I should be doing more" or "am I good enough" that manipulators love to exploit. They've already done the inner work, so they're not moved by anyone's attempts to make them feel not enough. If anything, they might find a guilt trip mildly amusing, like, "Oh, you really thought that would work?" This unshakable confidence and refusal to be weighed down by others' expectations drives narcissists and manipulators crazy. They're used to people bending to their pressure. But Sigmas don't flinch. Instead, they stand firm, knowing their worth and letting the guilt trip bounce right off. Number 5, zero tolerance for energy vampires. Sigma males have a radar for energy vampires that's as sharp as a hawk's vision. They can spot someone who drains others from a mile away and have zero tolerance for it. While some people might politely endure a soul-sucking conversation or tolerate constant negativity just to be nice, a Sigma isn't playing that game. The moment they feel someone sucking up their energy without giving anything positive back, they're already planning their exit. Energy vampires thrive on the attention, sympathy, and emotional support of others, hoping to offload their baggage without ever looking for solutions. They're the ones who will tell you about their bad luck for the 10th time, conveniently sidestepping any personal responsibility. But Sigmas see right through this pattern. They have no patience for endless pity parties or people who refuse to put in the work to improve their lives. When someone constantly drains rather than energizes, the Sigma simply cuts them off. No explanations necessary. Sigmas value their mental and emotional space too much to allow anyone to clutter it with constant complaints, drama, or negativity. This boundary is like kryptonite to energy vampires who expect people to absorb their problems indefinitely. If an energy vampire starts whining, a Sigma might give a polite nod, maybe even a half-hearted "that's tough," but mentally they're already halfway out the door. They know they're not obligated to be anyone's emotional dumpster. The brutal honesty of a Sigma's no-nonsense approach makes them a nightmare for energy vampires, who usually rely on people's politeness to keep their draining behavior going. But a Sigma? They're not fooled, not interested, and definitely not sticking around. If you're bringing nothing but negative vibes, don't expect a Sigma to stick around. They'll cut you off with a calm, quiet decisiveness that leaves energy vampires wondering what just happened. Number 6, self-aware enough to repel doubt creation. Self-awareness is like a superpower for Sigma males, and it's one that makes them practically unshakable. They know who they are, what they stand for, and what they bring to the table. This deep-rooted understanding of themselves creates a force field that narcissists and manipulators can't penetrate. Narcissists love creating self-doubt in others. They plant seeds of uncertainty, hoping to make people question their worth or decisions. But when they try this with a Sigma, it's like throwing pebbles at a fortress. Nothing happens. Sigmas don't waste time second-guessing themselves. They've done the work, faced their insecurities, and confronted their flaws head-on. This inner stability leaves narcissists completely powerless because their usual tricks, gaslighting, subtle put-downs, and backhanded compliments, just slide right off. A Sigma isn't going to crumble because someone suggests they're not enough or subtly implies they're too much. They know their own strengths and weaknesses, and they're not here for unsolicited critiques from people who thrive on tearing others down. For a narcissist, creating self-doubt is the ultimate control move. If they can make someone question themselves, they can swoop in, playing the role of all-knowing savior. But a Sigma doesn't need rescuing, and they definitely don't need someone else to define their worth. Try to make a Sigma feel insecure, and they'll probably just look at you like, nice try, but I know exactly who I am. This unwavering self-assurance is kryptonite to manipulators who depend on people's insecurities to gain control. With a Sigma, they hit a wall. There's no room for their influence to seep in because the Sigma has already built a strong foundation that doesn't need outside approval or validation. The result? Narcissists find themselves powerless, faced with someone they simply can't manipulate or shake. Number 7, immune to smear campaigns. When it comes to smear campaigns, Sigma males are practically untouchable. A narcissist's favorite tactic is to drag someone's reputation through the mud, hoping to tarnish their image and make them question themselves. But smear tactics fall flat with Sigmas. Why? Because they don't base their self-worth on other people's opinions, and their lives aren't propped up by social validation. They've built their identity from within, and it's solid enough to withstand cheap shots and gossip. Sigmas are the types who don't bother with drama or getting involved in petty social battles, so when a narcissist tries to drag them into one, they simply won't engage. They're well aware of who they are and what they stand for, and they have no interest in wasting time defending themselves against rumors. A Sigma knows that actions speak louder than words, and they'd rather let their character show itself over time than try to convince others in the heat of a smear campaign. They understand that people who truly know them won't be swayed by petty gossip, and those who believe the lies, well, they were never worth keeping around anyway. For narcissists who thrive on creating chaos and watching others scramble, this is incredibly frustrating. They expect the Sigma to react, to get defensive, or engage in a back and forth, but the Sigma's calm detachment drives them mad. It's like throwing firecrackers at a brick wall. No reaction, no satisfaction. Instead, Sigmas handle the smear campaign with an almost maddening calmness, refusing to let it shake them. This refusal to be dragged down by cheap tactics ultimately backfires on the narcissist. The more they try to spread lies, the more they reveal their own insecurity, while the Sigma stands strong, untouched by the mud others are flinging. For a narcissist, that's the ultimate defeat. Number 8, indifference to status and superficiality. Sigma males are immune to the allure of status and charm, and this alone drives narcissists crazy. While narcissists spend their days carefully curating a certain image, whether it's flashing their latest luxury buys or dropping names like confetti, Sigmas are unimpressed by the whole show. They're not interested in who someone knows, what they drive, or how many people fawn over them. In fact, Sigmas see right through the shiny facade and recognize it as just that, a facade. To a narcissist, charm is a tool of influence, a way to pull people into their orbit. They expect others to be dazzled by their charisma, but a Sigma just sits there, arms crossed, probably wondering if there's anything real behind all that sparkle. While others might get swept up by the charm offensive, Sigmas remain detached, examining the person beneath the surface. They're not rude about it, they just refuse to buy into superficial appeal. If someone's value hinges on their status symbols or their ability to turn on the charm, a Sigma will see it as shallow and move on without a second thought. This indifference unnerves narcissists, who are used to winning people over with their polished personas. They thrive on impressing others, and when a Sigma doesn't react, it's like hitting a brick wall. Narcissists count on others to validate their carefully constructed image, but a Sigma's unyielding standards leave them in the dust. To a Sigma, real worth has nothing to do with appearances. They admire depth, character, and authenticity, none of which can be faked or bought. The moment a narcissist realizes they can't control a Sigma's perception with status or charm is the moment they're faced with the reality that their tricks just don't work. And for someone who lives off admiration, that's a nightmare. Number 9, unfazed by rejection and abandonment. When it comes to rejection or abandonment, Sigma males are like Teflon, nothing sticks. While most people dread the sting of rejection, Sigmas have a unique ability to take it in stride, treating it like a minor inconvenience rather than a personal catastrophe. They understand that not everyone will get them or want to be around them, and that's perfectly fine. They don't define their worth by the acceptance of others, which sends narcissists into a tailspin of confusion and frustration. For many, the thought of being rejected feels like stepping onto a stage and forgetting their lines. But for a Sigma, it's more like shrugging on a comfy sweater. They know they can find their own path, and they're perfectly capable of being their own biggest fan. So when a narcissist tries to wield rejection as a weapon, expecting the Sigma to crumble or plead for acceptance, they're in for a rude awakening. The Sigma's response might be a simple "your loss," accompanied by a nonchalant wave goodbye. This emotional resilience is like kryptonite to narcissists, who thrive on keeping people off balance. They often use rejection to manipulate others into seeking their approval or validation, but a Sigma sees this tactic for what it is, a flimsy power play. Instead of feeling wounded, a Sigma turns the tables, embracing solitude and independence as a strength. Narcissists want to create drama and draw people into a vortex of self-doubt, but Sigmas simply refuse to play along. When they're rejected, they don't wallow. They reassess, redirect, and move on. This ability to bounce back makes them a nightmare for anyone trying to manipulate their emotions. Instead of seeking validation, Sigmas are out there building their own castles, confident that they can thrive on their own, whether others are on board or not. Number 10, emotional independence that can't be contaminated. Emotional independence is one of the most formidable traits of Sigma males, and it's a quality that sends narcissists scrambling. While many people depend on others for validation, approval, and emotional support, Sigmas have mastered the art of self-sufficiency. They don't need a cheering squad or a constant stream of compliments to feel good about themselves. In fact, they could probably win a self-love contest without even breaking a sweat. This independence is like a protective shield, making them virtually unreachable to those who thrive on emotional manipulation. Narcissists love to create an atmosphere where people feel dependent on them for happiness, using emotional strings to control and manipulate. They think, if I can just make them feel insecure enough, they'll come crawling back for approval. But when faced with a Sigma, this tactic fizzles out like a bad firework. Sigmas recognize that they are the architects of their own happiness. They understand their emotions deeply and know how to process them without seeking outside affirmation. If a Sigma feels down, they won't look to others to lift them up. They'll dive into a good book, take a long walk, or crank up their favorite playlist until they're back on their feet. This emotional autonomy drives narcissists nuts because it strips them of their power. When they try to pull the "you need me" card, the Sigma simply raises an eyebrow and says, "Thanks, but I've got this." The ability to stand on their own feet creates a barrier that narcissists can't penetrate. They can't manipulate someone who doesn't play into their emotional games. In a world full of people looking for validation, Sigmas are the rare breed that doesn't just survive, they thrive, leaving narcissists grasping at straws in their attempts to exert control. The dynamic between Sigma males and narcissists is a fascinating exploration of power, control, and resilience. While narcissists rely on manipulation, emotional dependency, and the desire for validation to maintain their influence, Sigma males stand as a testament to the strength found in self-awareness and independence. They navigate relationships without losing themselves, unflinchingly calling out dishonesty and refusing to engage in the petty games that often ensnare others. This combination of blunt honesty, emotional immunity, and unwavering self-confidence creates a unique fortress that leaves narcissists bewildered and frustrated. Sigmas understand that true strength lies not in the need for approval, but in the ability to be at peace with oneself regardless of external opinions. They thrive on their own terms, drawing energy from their passions rather than from the praise or recognition of others. In the end, it's this remarkable self-sufficiency that empowers Sigma males to rise above the drama and chaos that narcissists thrive on. They embody the idea that one can be strong, independent, and true to oneself in a world filled with noise and distraction. For those caught in the web of narcissistic manipulation, the Sigma male serves as a powerful reminder that real strength comes from within, and that emotional independence is not just a trait, it's a way of life. With a Sigma around, you can be sure the drama will evaporate, leaving behind clarity, authenticity, and the quiet confidence that comes from knowing your worth. If you found value in our deep dive into the fascinating world of Sigma males and their incredible resilience, then you won't want to miss what's coming next. Join our vibrant community by hitting that subscribe button and turning on notifications. With each video, we bring you empowering insights and a dash of humor to help you navigate relationships and embrace your authentic self. Let's explore this journey together. Subscribe now and be part of a community that celebrates strength and independence. I will see you in the next video.